Cave Claw here today. Now, unfortunately, I did not have the time to actually record audio when I did this next video. Today we're going to go through Lion's Arch to the Sylvari hometown. I believe it's called Caldoni. No, Caldonian Forest is the starter area. I believe it's the Pale Tree is the town. I put a little background music for you guys to enjoy. I've got a little secret code for my friend SlothEye if he can figure out the hint. So here we are at the Asura Gate, Lion's Arch. It's pretty much the only place you can go to get to the main cities without paying a whole bunch of money. It's a big place. On the far left-hand corner, you have the Wolfborn, which is the Norn Gate. They're kind of like the police. Got the Iron Legion for the Char, Warden Scout for the Sylvari, Peacemaker Officers for the Asura, and the Seraph Guard for humans. And of course, we also have this very, very little pretty stand in the middle, which happens to look plant-like. We're going to go up to the Wardens and go through to get into our next map. Unfortunately, they're not dressed the best fancily. I stand corrected. It's not the Pale Tree, it's the Grove. So now that we're here in the Grove, the first thing we're going to do is look around to see where we are. I can already see two vistas, which are pretty much in the bottom corner. But I'm going to go ahead and turn around and run to where you enter the town through the main map, which is Caldonian Forest. I'm going to turn around here. Clean up some things. And I don't see a speed boost yet, so I'm a little bit slow. So that portal right there is how you get to Caldonian Forest. It's also how you enter the Grove the first time if you're a Sylvari. I'm going to run up and get my waypoint. And the first vista is on your right. I'm going to turn around. It's at the top of that building right there. First couple times I tried doing this was a little bit difficult because I had lag when I first got Guild Wars 2. So just be careful and slow when it comes to Sylvari mushroom steps, because they can be a pain in the backside. So you can jump to the little mushroom on the bottom right, it just causes a little bit more work. Coming around the corner, sometimes you can go off the edge just a little bit to actually turn around. It's not a good idea to jump on the green between the two mushroom pads, otherwise you will not really be able to move anywhere. There is one vista here which I did a shortcut and jumped down to instead of doing the actual way you can do it, because it's, well, I was a little lazy and wanted to show you guys the easy way, because it's a bit of a bugger to get up. I'm also going through and skipping the vistas like I did in Divinity's Reach, and I'll probably do for all of the vistas that I do, allow you guys to enjoy the cutscenes more. You can see the top of the Pale Tree, just barely at the top of your screen. That's where the avatar, or the voice of the Pale Tree is, that gives the Sylvari a lot of their instructions. So now we're going to look at the map, and we see 1, 2, 3, 4 points of interest and 2 vistas at least. So we're going to pretty much just find the ones that are closest and work our way down. That's a little elevator you can use to go to the bottom floor, but we don't need that at the moment. There is a point of interest right underneath the Pale Tree's beginning roots. Don't forget to get your waypoints, because I think this town only has 4 waypoints, including the one at the portal. And I really hope you guys cannot hear the background of my mom and her friend blasting TV. I did drop down on accident. Luckily, you can get out of there if you just walk down a little ways. It's not too hard. It's just a little time consuming. As you're walking around. This one you have to do in the order that I did, otherwise there is no way for you to get up. You have to actually jump where I jump on the first mushroom pad thing that sticks out, otherwise you will never be able to get up on that. You can't really get up onto the top without jumping on that little mushroom pad first, which is unfortunate, but it works. And there's a vista. We're going to go to the one behind it now, on a little bit of a patio, I guess you could call it. So now I've got 2 vistas out of the way. Actually, that's 3. My bad. I'm going to go down here, and I think I'm going to get some speed boost. I'm going to turn around and go into the building we just jumped on top of, because the point of interest is actually inside of it. There's also one next to it, which is actually on the ramp that you can drop down to after you've done the inside one. Hopefully the soundtrack matches okay for what the Grove songs are. I wanted to make sure I did something similarly plant-like, not like hard rock or anything like that. If you drop from one floor to the next, you will die. So if you are dropping, try to drop to the ceiling of a building or in the middle of a ramp. That way you don't actually die. You have to run all the way back downstairs. So now we're on the 2nd floor, and there aren't really any vistas on the 2nd floor, but there are a few different points of interest. The points of interest here are mostly the Derman Priory, the Vigil, and I think the Whispers has an area here, but I cannot remember. I think it's just a bridge, not Whispers. Now, for that little surprise I mentioned at the start, I'm actually going to go here because Caledonia Forest is actually my favorite town, just because it is so natural and it has a way of pretty much building the rooms as a part of the giant tree. Now here's the thing, I sew in real life, so it's pretty cool to see the tailoring station actually have weaving and a few mannequins. I'm hoping those are not just mannequins, but actually sewing figurines or sewing busts, I guess. So I'm going to turn around now that I've taken you on a very pretty tour of where the crafting stations are. And if you hear that big bang, I am very, very sorry. Next we're going to do the actual Derman Priory, Vigil, and all those things. We're actually right outside of the Trader's Post, which is in front of all of the crafting stations. Here's the Dermond. There's Whispers. That's where it is. It's so small I don't usually see it as I run past. And here is Vigil. 1 minute! So we've got the 2nd floor done. About halfway done with the city now. All I have to do is go downstairs. You'll notice there are a couple items on the top and the bottom that look like they're in a pathway that kind of just curves around. Those little grub-like tunnels that are shortcuts from the 2nd floor to the 3rd floor if you want to run all the way to the edge. Somewhere around here, there is at least one vista you can drop down onto. That's the only way you can get to it. But I don't see it. I'm probably looking in the wrong place. So instead, I'm going to go to the one that's a little bit north on the second floor and look down. That one you see, you can actually get to it from the bottom floor. It actually has a stepping pattern. But I'm going to give it a shot and see if I can jump from up above. Save me the trouble of all that jumping. Out of all the jumping areas here, I think there's one on a ramp, and this one right here are the most irritating. Normally, you can stop on the mushroom that's just before this one right here and actually get the vista, but since I got there already and I'm not frustrated with the jump, I'm just going to jump up there and finish it. So now you are successfully on the bottom floor. You've done your vista, you're going to look around, and since you're right next to the tunnel, you might as well go in it and have a double check. From after you check the little rub tunnels, you can pretty much just go in a circle on the bottom floor and go up the ramps to different little mini buildings. There's only really 2 instances you need to enter here. That's Kaith's home and the queen, or not the queen, the avatar of the trees room. Yes, I feel bad for the poor groves I'm bouncing on. You'll notice something about the bottom floor is that it's very serene, very aquatic. It's almost like the entire floor is just the water or the roots picked up from the tree. It's got a nice blue tint to it, very calm, quiet. You can even go swimming among fish down there. Yes, there are fish in these ponds. So these little ramps and little buildings are the ones that most of the points of interest are inside. They're mostly little teaching rooms and other such. It's very pretty, if I do say so myself. Always was a fan of blues and purples and greens. There are a couple places that you really can't get into unless you're a Sylvari on a specific storyline, so just walking in front of a closed door will work. And then you can see the next rooms right up ahead of us. Fortunately, I went for a little dive with the fishies. Now that point of interest I'm passing right now is actually on the ramp above me, and I don't need to worry about it until I'm doing the vista up there. So now we're swimming, and on the right-hand side you'll see a large embankment. If you actually go up there, you have what the Grove has, their version of a dungeon almost. We only need to go just in front of it to the other grub tunnel and get the point of interest. It's the Nightshade Gardens where any criminals are held. And for the Sylvari storyline, you actually have the option of going there, breaking out one of the Nightmare Courts, following him to the Nightmare Court, and then killing him, pretty much. Not as entertaining, but still, it's something to watch to see how different the Nightmare Court is from the rest of the Sylvari. So now you're going to look around, and we see one little house behind me. That's actually the one I was aiming to jump down on earlier. So now that I remember where that is, I'm going to finish getting the points of interest on the first floor. Now all we need to do is get the waypoint, and the last point of interest on the first floor is going to be, what's her name? Kaith's house, basically. Kaith kind of lives in a veranda where I think other children Sylvari live. She mostly has a small corner in the back, and that's what the point of interest is. If you're a Sylvari, she's always there when you enter her home. She'll slowly walk out towards you, and it's usually easier if you just run right to her. So her little room is past these two ramps, and she actually comes out of that little door that has the purple fronds on it. This here is a little garden that you fight if you chose Sylvari and the Green Knight. I think a couple Sylvari storylines have this place being ransacked. Either way, I'm going to do a shortcut, just click to get out of there. A little bit faster than running all the way to the door, and then clicking leave. So now I've got my waypoint. I just need the last point of interest, which I actually missed a second ago. My bad. But luckily, it's really close. There's a vista up there, which is the one we're looking for. Or one of the two we're left looking for. Looks like I'm taking a bit of a wrong turn, so I'm going to turn around and get that final irritating point of interest, which is actually right in front of where we started on the first floor. So now all we have to do is go back to that first ramp. By the time we're level with the ramp and the vista, we'll have gotten that last point of interest that's on the first floor. Now this vista is a little bit hard. I believe it's the second to last step. If you're not careful, you'll just walk right off of it because it'll glitch and not let you jump on it. I believe, there we go, second to last. I believe the trick is that you have to go, man. Oh, well. I believe the second to last step trick is to jump from all the way at the far back end of the mushroom cap. And I think that's actually what I did to get this. I'm being a little more careful this time. Yep, all the way at the back. And also hugging the tree. So you get the vista there, and now we only have 2 more points of interest and that one last vista we missed. So I'm going to run all the way up top, because the last vista is going to be close to where this ramp ends, actually. Somewhere in that area. I think it's pretty much right next to where the armor merchant icon was. I need a little bit more of a speed boost, so I'm going to get that real quick, since mine seems to have worn off. You can see the vista now that I go down to the bottom floor tile. So now we're going to run around, if I don't go the wrong way first. And you see that stem sticking straight out? That's what you're going to be jumping on. So you're going to go jump down, turn around, and follow the lip, and there's your vista. Just be careful when you jump, because I've actually jumped off that a couple times on accident. So that one's done. I'm going to jump down into the water because it's deep enough that I will not get hurt. Go ahead, swim around. And remember that elevator pod I mentioned earlier? I'm going to cheat and use that to go to the very top floor. Unfortunately, it's going to force me to have a cutscene that I cannot skip. So we're going to float on up. First level, second level, and the top level. So it gives us a nice cut screen there. And of course I'm unfortunately jumping jittery as I'm glitching. So I'm going to have this little cut screen end. I'm going to turn around and use the other pod to actually go into the Queen's area. Because that pod right there is the only way you can get to the avatar of the tree. And I keep calling her a queen because she's as pretty as one. So, almost done! Sorry, I'm being called to dinner and I told them I needed to record this, but they didn't listen. So we're going to keep going up. We're not going to leave the grove. We're going to go say hello to Her Majesty the Avatar of the Tree, where you get 1 point of interest. And this is Venturi's tablet, a tablet written by a centaur who was actually had very good morals that the Sylvari decided to base their lives around. So that's kind of like the good morals of what you're supposed to be. You're going to exit to the grove. Quick little screen cut, or loading screen, I should say. And you notice a blue star on the bottom, blue amulet on the bottom. You finished the grove. All you have to do now is load, open your chest, and get your prize. Have fun, folks!